Now, the checklist simply just says to retract your flaps at 80 knots and clear of terrain and obstacles. But what I like to use is a flap retraction altitude, 500 feet. And what I also like to do is tie that in together with a couple other procedures. Let's talk about it.
The problem with the 80-knot retraction speed is that most pilots develop the habit of raising the flaps at that speed without giving consideration to other factors. On a high, hot day departing a mountainous airport, you will develop quite a sink if you bring the flaps up at 80 knots.
So here I'm holding short of runway 15 at Burbank. The pressure altimeter is reading 740 feet. If I add 500 feet to that, I'm going to come up with 1,240 feet. 1,240 is my flap retraction altitude.
I recommend 500 feet for 3 reasons. 1, it's high enough that if we sink when the flaps come up, we won't hit anything. 2, it's the minimum deployment altitude for caps. And 3, it's right around where I would start my turn if I was on an IFR departure. As we reach our flaps retraction altitude, we call out flaps, caps, maps. Let's break it down, starting with flaps.
So at 500 feet, 1,240, I'm going to call speed checks. I like my speed to be in excess of 85 knots when I do my flap retraction. Having 85 knots or a little bit more airspeed than that tends to get rid of that sink. So I'll call speed checks, flaps up.
And the next step is caps. Since I'm now above the minimum caps deployment altitude, I now remind myself that caps is now viable.
I look up the caps handle and I touch the caps handle. For me, 500 feet is where I deem caps to be viable. So if I lose that engine at 500 feet or greater, let's say 650 feet, I'm pulling the caps. I will not hesitate 1 second to pull the caps.
And the third step is maps, which is a reminder for me to reconfigure the MFD to the moving map. By this point, my engine is typically stable. I check my engine temperature and pressures, and if I'm flying a normally aspirated Cirrus, at this point I'll now normalize my EGT. Then I switch back to the moving map, which allows me to keep a good look for traffic and at terrain.
And then I just like to tie into the end there, turn. Because typically on an IFR departure, they want you to start your turn at 400 feet off the runway.
Let's show you the procedure on a real departure.
Cirrus 17 off the Sierra radar contact. Report your southwestbound turn.
Thank you. Okay, there's 500 feet. Flaps. We're on caps. We're on maps, and we're in the turn. Autopilot on. Nav GPSS out VS. And the plane is already picked up the 095 radio out of Van Nuys. So flaps, caps, maps, and turn. It keeps it simple. It gives me a 500-foot flap retraction altitude. Try it out.